complex, chaotic conundrums. This seems to have become the new norm in which we do business in today. A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the PIM Annual Research Conference 2025, Thriving in Turbulent Times. Turbulence, by all definitions, seems to be the new norm in which we do business. Just when a business leader thinks and believes they've got everything covered, we see a new disruption, a new transformation, and a new type of turbulence, which was previously hardly even known, taking the world by storm. At PIM, we believe that it is our duty to build business leaders who are ready for this turbulence, because after all, it is the vision of PIM to be the business school for the new world. In this endeavor, today, PIM, with all of you present here today, turns a new leaf and is ready to write a new golden chapter in its legacy of contributing to management insights, management excellence, in order to build corporate brilliance and also academic intelligence. With this in mind, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to commence the PIM Annual Research Conference 2025, Thriving in Turbulent Times. As customary, please rise for the PIM anthem.
ජයවර්ධනපුර විදුජය සරසවි පද්ම තටාකේ විකසිත දියුම ඔබයි පින්බර අප විද්‍යා භූමි කිතු ගොස දස දෙස වීරා බොරණේවා ජය දත බන්නා පින්බර අප විද්‍යා භූමි විදුජය සරසවි පද්ම තටාකේ විකසිත පියුම ඔබයි පින්බර අප විද්‍යා භූමි සලසන නව්‍ය තාක්ෂණ විදුරුවන් කිරණ නොමින් පෙරාගෙන දියුණුව සලසන නව්‍ය තාක්ෂණ විදුරුවන් කිරණ නොමින් පෙරාගෙන මානව සමගුණ විසිලස යොදවන අලමනා කරන විදුනෙම වඩවන සවිවරමින් නැනගුණ රන්දන ජය මඟ පාදන නියමුනි කේතන සවිවරමින් නැනගුණ රන්දන ජය මඟ පාදන නියමුනි කේතන සිරිලක සිරිසර මල්පල ගන්වන විදුබිම නන්දන කරනෙමු වන්දන ජයවර්ධනපුර විදුජය සරසවි පද්ම තටාකේ විකසිත පියුම ඔබයි පින්බර අප විද්‍යා භූමි කිතු ගොස දස දෙස වීරා බොරණේවා ජය දත බන්නා පින්බර අප විද්‍යා භූමි.
Ladies and gentlemen, please feast your eyes on the PIMARC 2025 curtain raiser. take great pleasure in inviting the following distinguished individuals to join me here on stage. Please join me in welcoming our keynote speaker for this morning, Professor Robert Pfaff. Our chief guest, Senior Professor Padmalal M. Manage. Our guest of honor, Professor Dushan Jayavikrama. Director PIM, Dr. Asanga Ranasinghe. And our conference co-chairs, Senior Professor Ajanta Dharmasiri and Dr. Trevor Mendes. It is now time to hear from a distinguished individual, someone who has been a driving force behind the success of the PIM Annual Research Conference over the years. Please join me in welcoming Senior Professor Ajanta Dharmasiri to deliver the welcome address.
Thank you, Tarindu. A very good day to all of you. May I warmly welcome those who are here physically as well as those who have connected with us virtually. I'm indeed delighted to be in front of this distinguished audience in the 5th PIMARC Annual Research Conference. So may I warmly welcome Professor Robert Pfaff, who is not a stranger to us, sir. You joined us virtually 3 years ago when we had the first ever pitching competition in Sri Lanka, where I'm very happy that one of my doctoral students, Riyad Ismail, won the Sri Lanka's #1, and he became 6th in the whole world during that time. And Senior Professor Padmalal Manage, our dynamic leader, the humane scientist, who is heading the largest university in Sri Lanka in terms of student numbers and having the largest number of faculties, to be precise, 11 faculties. So thank you very much for being with us. Having a very hectic time. Yesterday, we had the ICBM conference in the parent university. And of course, our good friend, Professor Dushan Jayavikrama, the dynamic dean of the largest business faculty in the country, and also now a visiting faculty of PIM, and in the board contributing a lot immensely for the PIM well-being. And of course, we have Dr. Asanga Ranasinghe, my Unilever colleague and MBA batchmate, now having the reins of taking PIM to a greater height to make it the business school for the world. So thank you very much, sir, for all your wonderful encouragement and giving the guidance to the two co-chairs. And of course, how can I forget my co-chair, Dr. Trevor Mendes, who took the burden to his shoulders in running the show. And of course, we have Dr. Nilangi, who is a co-chair of the ICBM 2025. She happened to be a prestigious alumnus of PIM. So that gives us immense happiness when we see our alumni doing so well elsewhere. And it reminds me, Dr. Nilangi, 21 years ago, when you had the first ICBM conference where our senior professor Sampath Amrutunga was a co-chair, I presented my very first paper as a new academic. I joined academia from private sector. My very first academic paper was at ICBM, the very first ICBM, which was at Golf Face Hotel, if I'm not mistaken. So we have selected an opportune theme this time, as the curtain raiser very clearly illustrated, thriving in turbulent times. So we need to have research, the rigorous research required in Thrive. So whilst welcoming the distinguished people at the head table, may I also warmly welcome the people in front of the head table, the presenters who will be presenting their research today, and the panel chairs and panel members who have come from other universities, and our doctoral participants, our MBA participants, and all other distinguished invitees. And how can I forget my PIM family, the academic, non-academic fraternity of PIM. We all work as one solid PIM team, including the Senior Registrar, Mr. Jayant Ranapura, and we have our Deputy Bursar, Mr. Kolita, and we have our Senior Registrar, Vinoda, and all of us work as a wonderful team. So whilst welcoming all of you, I think we need to welcome the theme of the conference wholeheartedly. So why thriving in turbulence? I remember, sir, 3 years ago, we had long fuel queues, long power outages, long gas shortages. So we were suffering and it was post-COVID. After one pandemic, we had another calamity in Sri Lanka. So it was an interesting case study, ended up as a chase study. Case study became a chase study. So turbulence is something very much familiar to us. I think the whole world is going through a turbulence. It involves disorder, disunity, discomfort, and disruption. That's why I really like when Dr. Nilangi and her team brainstormed in coming with a very apt theme for ICBM 2025, tech titans and turmoil, leveraging the businesses for sustainable, through disruptive technologies for sustainable business transformation. So we are very much aligned to the overall ICBM theme, and thanks to our director, we are now very much coherently bonded into the main parent university research initiative. This whole week is full of research activities in the parent university, and we are a vibrant part of that. As we sang in our anthem, Jayawardhana Pura Padma Tatake Vikasita Piyuma Ubai. So we are the blossom lotus in the pond of Sri Jayawardhanapura. There's no pond, there's no survival for the lotus. And the lotus gives the beauty to the entire pond. So that's the coexistence, that's a symbiosis that we need to have with the parent university and PIM. So I'm indeed happy that we have that vibrantly happening with the two vibrant leaders getting together. So it reminds me 10 years ago when I was heading PIM as the director at that time, we launched Student Research Day, showcasing the MBA research. And then 7 years ago, we launched a doctoral colloquium. And then 5 years ago, we combined the two and we created PIMARC. So this is the 5th time we are having PIMARC. Every year it's getting better, bigger, and brighter. So we have added more industry features this time. And in the afternoon in particular, we will be showing more the applied research in action. I firmly believe research is to be applied. So there are only two types of research, either applied research or yet to be applied research. That's how I would look at research. So we need to either apply today or it's to be applied in future. So we need to have that research mindset. As someone said, research is looking at the things that anyone like and thinking like no one else. Looking at the things like anyone and thinking like no one. So that's where the research rigor is needed in thriving through turbulent times. So it is Jamais Casio, an anthropologist based in California, who coined the term BANI, B-A-N-I. We are living in a turbulent time where it's a brittle, anxious, non-linear, and incomprehensible. We are living in a fragile, fragmented world, and people are very anxious. So there's no connection from cause to effect, non-linear, and incomprehensible. It's very difficult to fathom what's going on around us. So it's a BANI world. So VUCA is obsolete, but BANI is the new chip in the block. So in the BANI world, research plays an essential role. And today, we would showcase how research can contribute to the societal well-being. We in Sri Lanka is going through a political transformation with a lot of hopes and expectation with the new leadership in the country, where we would look forward to have a more transparent, more accountable political culture. I think in such a context, research can play a more pivotal role. So I would look forward to have a wonderful day full of intellectually insightful interactions, where the research will be showcased as a way of contributing in thriving through turbulent times with tech titans and turmoil, tech titans facing the turmoil with the required talent. So I wish all the very best for the entire day of deliberations, and we will have a doctoral workshop. Thanks to Professor Faf. He was so generous enough to talk to our doctoral candidates, and I hope to see a vibrant day in front of us. So a warm welcome once again to all of you, and let's enjoy and let's have engaging excellence as essence right throughout the day. All the very best.
Thank you very much, Co-Chair of PIMARC 2025 and Senior Professor Dasadharma Siri, for your encouraging words. Next, we are about to hear from yet another remarkable individual, someone giving leadership to PIM in turbulent times and has crafted the vision for PIM to be the business school for the new business world. Please join me in welcoming to deliver the opening remarks, Director of PIM, Dr. Asanga Ranasinghe.
Thank you, Taridu. Thank you very much. Very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Our Vice Chancellor, Senior Professor Padmalal M. Manage, Dean, Faculty of Management and Commerce, Professor Dushan Jayavikrama, Co-Chairs of PIMARC, Senior Professor Ajanta Dharmasiri, Dr. Trevor Mendis, ICBM Co-Chair, Dr. Nilangi Nanayakkara, our keynote speaker, Professor Robert Pfaff, honorable guests, faculty, distinguished researchers, members from the industry, and learning partners of PIM. PIMARC this year is very special, as Professor Dharmasiri explained, as we hold it as part of the ICBM of the university. This is the 5th consecutive PIM Annual Research Conference, PIMARC 2025, and the conference holds a special place in the academic calendar of PIM, now as part of ICBM of our university. PIM, as you saw, we want to be the business school for the new world, and insightful research and publications should not be viewed as an academic exercise. We want to make it a cornerstone of developing future leaders for the country. At PIM, we believe research is instrumental in shaping the future of businesses, economies, societies, and our country at large, especially in a very challenging time like now. The theme for this year's PIMARC, Thriving in Turbulent Times, is more than just a reflection of the current global landscape. It is actually a call to action. We live an era marked by uncertainty, change, disruption, and rapid transformation. From economic fluctuations to technological advancements, to climate emergencies, to geopolitical shifts, businesses and professionals like us need to adapt swiftly and strategically. Research serves as the compass, guiding us through these complexities and helping us discover solutions that not only ensure survival but enable us to thrive. Today, we are privileged to witness the academic contributions of 42 dedicated researchers in both master's and in doctoral level of our learning partners. They'll be presenting their conceptual papers, research papers throughout the day. Our master's learning partners come from the field research, skills research, research projects, and very importantly, the entrepreneurial research. They will showcase their findings, address critical challenges and opportunities in various domains in the research. We are also planning to invite the Vice Chancellor to reopen our incubation center, Genesis, after the first part of this conference. As we embark on this academic discourse, I encourage all participants who have joined physically and virtually to embrace this platform for collaborative learning and intellectual exchange. Your research today has the power to influence policy, drive innovation, and create meaningful impact beyond academia to the application in the industry. Let this conference serve as a stepping stone for great exploration as we contribute to the body of knowledge that will shape the academic knowledge as well as industries. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our distinguished faculty members, mentors, evaluators for their unwavering guidance. Our Vice Chancellor was the architect of establishing the research committee a few years ago when he was serving in the Board of Management and the Board of Study of PIM. To our learning partners, as researchers, I urge you to keep pushing boundaries, challenging conventional wisdom, and seeking knowledge that makes a difference. May PIMARC 2025 be a beacon of inspiration and testament to our collective commitment to research excellence. Let us continue to strive, innovate, and lead this initiative with resilience while advancing in applied research. Thank you, and I wish you a very productive day and wish each one of you a great research journey ahead. Thank you very much.
advancing to new frontiers while building resilience. Thank you, sir, for those motivating words. I'm sure that sets the tone for the rest of the day, in which we will be discussing some of the latest developments and findings of our learning partners, the doctoral students, and different learning partners from different fields of study here at PIM. Thank you once again, sir, for your encouraging words. Next, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to hear from a remarkable individual who, despite a very busy schedule, is here today to share his thoughts on this very special day in the PIM calendar, the PIMARC 2025, the annual research conference for the year with the theme Thriving in Turbulent Times. To deliver the chief guest address, please join me in welcoming the Vice Chancellor of the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura, someone with decades of experience in research across a diversified plethora of different disciplines and fields, Senior Professor Padmalal M. Manage.
Today keynote speaker, Professor Robert Pfaff, and Dr. Asanga Ranasinghe, Director, Postgraduate Institute of Management, and Professor Dushan Vijayavikrama, Dean, Faculty of Management Studies and Commerce, senior professors from University of Sri Jayawardhanapura and the Postgraduate Institute of Management, and esteemed faculty members of PIM, and industry leaders, researchers, and most importantly, the learning partners of PIM. So very good morning to all. So I am very pleased to address today at the Postgraduate Institute of Management Annual Research Conference, PIMA 2025. As an institution, PIM deeply committed to advance in knowledge and shaping future leaders to over 3 decades. PIMA 2025. So this is very important for PIM as well as University of Sri Jayawardhanapura. So then the PIMARC Research Conference, this is the 5th time organized by Postgraduate Institute of Management. But this is unique because this research conference organized collaboratively with ICBM 2025 organized by the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura. Dr. Asanga mentioned very clearly the PIM is one of our institute attached to the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura. So as I become a member of management board, I initiate a research committee at PIM. So then I can see the success stories and increase research outcome from academics as well as student of PIM. So this PIM journey is very important because the PIM work with industry and the leaders of different ministries, and PIM become a school, business school for this new world. Through this research conference and this conference working with collaboration with University of Sri Jayawardhanapura, so PIM will be able to inculcate a strong research culture within the premises, and its benefit to academic as well as practitioners, and will be able to emphasize the importance of research within the leading community. So when I see the PIMARC theme, I love it because it says thriving in turbulence time. It is timely and very significant topic. Today we face many challenges as Professor Dharma Das also mentioned that, yeah, you also mentioned. So this turbulence, and we have faced a lot of challenges past few years, economic instability and rapid technological changes and some global uncertainties. So therefore, so we overcome some extent all these problem using our technology and our research finding, applying to give some solutions. So then, but history has shown that research is essential in finding solution and helping us move forward. So that's why, so we have this conference so that today all participants may present their research finding and discuss with uh, peers and expert and industry partners, and then find a solution to burning problem in their particular field. So then I want to give a very clear example. So we all experience the COVID-19 pandemic past few years, which caused fear and impacted the world's economy and social well-being. At first, there was no medicine fight against virus. As we know, no antibiotics against virus. So the only way to overcome this issue was to find a vaccine. So the scientists around the world worked tirelessly, conducting research to find a solution to eradicate the pandemic or the COVID virus. Ultimately, what happened, their efforts led to the development of new vaccine using advanced technology, which helped the world recover from COVID-19 pandemic. This is a very good example because we have challenges and we have to face challenges, but we have to think to do more research to find out a proper solution to overcome a problem. Similarly, institutions like PIM are vital in providing knowledge and insight that help individuals and organizations tackle any challenges they may face. So therefore, I know that the learning patterns of PIM are not just student. So they are contributors to the country's workforce knowledge. I am happy today that PIM learning partners use this platform to disseminate their research finding to the wider community. University of Sri Jayawardenepura also very proud to work with PIM, and also so the PIM initiatives align with our broader vision for establishing ourselves as a center of excellence in South Asia. I am always say the research is not simply an academic exercise that a lecture must perform. Still, it is a powerful tool for transforming a professional manager or an academic. So therefore, thank you very much submitting your research to present today. So this time I heard 42 learning partners, doctoral candidates, and master students will present their conceptual and research papers under 7 different streams. So then, as a leader of the university, I want to say, I believe without research, without statistics, we can't come to a conclusion. So then we failed several times because so we didn't use our research finding, we didn't use our statistics to take a decision to some problems. For an example, you remember the fertilizer problem. Fertilizer problem, we didn't analyze our data. We didn't search, we didn't do a literature survey about what we have done and what is ongoing and what are the future problems. So then finally what happened, I think you all can understand what was happened last few years. Therefore, researchers, they do research and they publish papers, and our duty is to clearly analyze all this information before we come to a conclusion. It is not only for that, and it is very important for policymakers, especially the industrial partners and some other, the leaders then who prepare policies. They need the research finding. They have to analyze all the statistics past we had and overall the world have done. So therefore, this forum open for all of us to present your research finding and then take this opportunity and this platform to shape your research career. And also then hear and accept all the suggestion, comments you may get from the audience, and then prepare your future plan and the future research to achieve your target. So thank you very much inviting me. I think today will become a very fruitful day for all of you, and take this experience, especially the MPhil and postgraduate and PhD candidates. This is a very good platform to discuss your research finding with experts and seniors and your peers. And finally, you can find a good solution for our burning problems in our country. And I believe, so you are the leaders, future leaders, your research finding will help to achieve our sustainable development goal of the country, as well as for the development of the country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chief Guest Senior Professor Padmalal M. Manage, Vice Chancellor of the University of Sri Jayawardenepura, for emphasizing on the vitality of research in today's context. Now, a significant milestone this morning, which is the launching of the PIMARC Proceedings ebook. And to do the honors, I take pleasure in inviting our chief guest, Senior Professor Padmalal M. Manage, along with the Director of PIM, Dr. Sangarana Singha, and the two conference co-chairs, Senior Professor Ajanta Dharmasiri and Dr. Trevor Mendes. This is to launch the proceedings, the ebook of the proceedings of PIMARC 2025. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Now, for a significant moment of this morning, which is to hear from our keynote speaker, someone whom we had the pleasure of having with us in person this morning, lovingly and famously known as the pitch doctor for his expertise in research pitching as well. He is a research professor at the Honivers University in Budapest, Professor Emeriti of the University of Southern Queensland, and an adjunct professor of the Bond University in Australia. Please join me in welcoming Professor Robert Pfaff, our keynote speaker this morning.
Thank you very much for those very kind words. Again, thank you for hosting me here at your university. Thank you to the Vice-Chancellor and, of course, today, PIM, the Director, and the very good team of people that, including Trevor, who have organised the conference. There's a famous saying that I'm going to paraphrase, which is, it's really easy to write a lot and it's really difficult to write not very much. I have 15 minutes. It's really easy to say a lot, but it's really difficult to say not much. So my goal in the next 15 minutes is just to whet your appetite. My goal is to whet your appetite, a little bit of a reprise from my talk yesterday, but only very briefly because it is relevant to research training matters. A little bit of an advertisement for this afternoon's PhD workshop, and in fact, a little bit of an advertisement for another session that I'll do tomorrow. Now, research training, of course, is something that we all know about, and you might, if I were you, I'd be sitting there thinking, well, what are you going to say? We know everything about research training. That's what we do day in, day out. If we're the supervisors, if we are the students, well, we're after research training. And what I'd like to do is to make a claim that there's a certain aspect of research training that I don't think we're very good at, or at least we don't give a lot of it direct or direct attention. So we're very good at giving research training in the specifics and details and challenges and the frontier of knowledge around the discipline areas. We're really good at that. We have many courses and there's no problem. And of course, that's part of research training. We're really good at giving courses and giving direct advice and training about methodologies, about econometrics, about the techniques, the tools. We're really good at that. But there's something that I think we it happens, maybe haphazardly, it happens, but I think we should give more explicit thought to and direction to around research training, and that is the process of research process. So in fact, what I've come to realize probably in the last decade, but then to think, well, maybe in 40 years of my academic career, this is the pathway that I've been led to, that focusing on that aspect of research training, the research process, is really important. And it's that I want to whet your appetite of. And I should remind myself, the slides that I have are available. I've sent those to Trevor, and the slides yesterday are available, and I'd like those to be shared as widely as possible. The slides this afternoon, likewise, and the slides tomorrow. That's part of giving, not only whetting your appetite, but giving you the ability to access the things that I'm going to very quickly talk about today. And, all right. I'm going to hit the wrong button here. Okay. So I mentioned this briefly yesterday. We don't need to repeat it. We're running short of time. But research or science is about the creation of new knowledge. And so when we think about training, or when I think about training, anything that helps get a good outcome, a high quality outcome around the creation of new knowledge is going to be important. Front and center for me around the research process, reprising yesterday, was responsible science. And those of you that were there yesterday hopefully remember me emphasising the three key pillars, in my view, of responsible science: aiming for credible research, reliable research, in other words, relevant research or useful research. And we've had many comments already on both of these, but in particular, the second one, to emphasise that what you're trying to do at PIM is not only do research that has a scholarly value, but it also has a value beyond the academy. It has a value as much as is possible, and it's not possible for everyone, but to choose research questions that address real-world problems, and that gives it that additional relevance. And then the third pillar that I talked about yesterday was independent research. So striving as much as we can to remove our personal biases and the biases of others to achieve some sort of objective view about how the world really works. And of course, we can never be truly objective but that doesn't mean we can't try. Just by choosing a discipline means that we have to take on board a set of ideas, of concepts and paradigms that in some sense we are giving up some of that objectivity. We do the minimal amount of that, I believe, that is necessary to give us a foundation. And beyond that, we then endeavour to find evidence that will help us understand how the world works from our discipline perspective. We've heard comment about something that I'm very proud of in terms of the development of the pitching research framework. I know many of you have had exposure to that. It would be remiss of me not to mention it briefly in terms of this focus of research training and the research process. It's many things to me, but the one that I'll emphasize here, it's a communication tool. It's a tool that's trying to make it easier, but not easy, but easier to communicate with experts in the field. And so with a simple framework, which is deceptively difficult to execute in reality, we have these 11 items, and I will definitely talk about these this afternoon. Now, here's my gift to you, and I don't think I'm an arrogant person. It sounds arrogant to say, hey, I've come here to give you a gift. But anyhow, that's the way I'm going to portray it in terms of research training. So that's why I think it might be particularly useful for you to get these slides, because in the following slides that I'll very quickly mention, of course, we don't have time to dig deep. We'll dig deeper this afternoon and tomorrow, is in terms of what I've tried to do and dedicate the last at least 10 years of my academic career to create resources, initiatives and opportunities around research training, and particularly around research training that has this research process angle in mind and founded on responsible science. So the big ones that are in the remainder of the slides, I'm going to quickly refer to now to whet your appetite. I've of recent times drilled down into giving more detailed guidance and advice on each and every item in the PRF, the Pitching Research Framework. There's a self-contained, self-paced micro-credential course that I developed while I was at Bond University. And I convinced Bond University to make that course free to everyone, all comers. So that is a resource that you and your students can access, and that will be a big help in terms of getting across the ideas of the Pitching Research Framework. We've developed an immersive website that's freely available to you. A few years back, I created the Inspires Research Network. And so that's something that allows you, gives you an opportunity to network globally. And so I think that's important. Recently, through my LinkedIn account, I've developed a series that I've called the Inspires Thought of the Week series. And what I've tried to do in little bite-sized chunks, if you like, is give insight into various angles on research, the process of research that I think are helpful, thought-provoking, not only to research students, but to all researchers. And one that has been mentioned already, the Inspires Global Pitching Research Competition. It's a vehicle. It's a vehicle to give a focus to, well, communicating your research in a consistent with responsible science. And so we have now launched the IGPRC 2025. We've had a great collaboration here in Sri Lanka through the university and also PIM. And I'm sure we're going to have great collaboration going forward there. And then in the last couple of years, to sort of round this all out, I decided I'd create a virtual centre, the Inspires Centre for Responsible Science. And Professor Wasantha Pereira, who's not here today, he's a node leader in Sri Lanka. And so that's another way of trying to get this message across. So time's nearly out, but just to give you a flavour of what's in the slides. As I said, the drill down into the PRF. On the right-hand column here are actionable links that you can click if you want to know more about advice on how to come up with a good working title, the basic research question, the key papers, so on and so forth. I mentioned the Pitching Research Matters micro credential. Here's a link to get more information about this, and hopefully, if you're interested, you work through that information and you can sign up. So this is a screenshot of that course, and basically it's free. There's 3 modules, a series of lessons, if you like. There's a final quiz, and so you can get your students to enroll, do the final quiz, and if they get 70% or better, so there's 20 questions, so 14 or better questions correct, they get an official Bond University certificate. Now you can redo the quiz. Not many students need to redo the quiz, but you can redo it. And so the e-certificate you get looks something like this. In terms of the pitching research, one-stop shop for all things pitching, it's pitchingresearch.com. Screenshot of what it looks like here. There's a range of tabs across the top that give additional information, resources, etc. So there's an Inspires tab, there's the Virtual Centre tab, there's events and competitions, there's resources, as I've mentioned, news, and right over in the right-hand corner in red, Start Pitching, you actually have an online version of the pitching template. So this is just a screenshot of a set of resources, modules. There's a Responsible Science Matters module, a Pitching Research Matters, and a variety of other modules that are available for free. I mentioned the Inspires network that I created, the International Society of Pitching Research for Responsible Science, globally facing, not surprisingly, focused on research training and capacity building. So trying to use electronic resources and modern technology to scale up the ability to reach out to far-flung sectors or segments or corners of the globe. In many cases, those sectors that are in desperate need or want for help. And that's what I'm trying to do with this. There are 81 jurisdictions that are part of covered by the Inspires network. So Inspires need you, you need Inspires, I think. And so the first link here should work for you. It's a Google Docs link. Takes about 5 minutes to register, and I'd encourage, well, everyone to register, but particularly research students. It's a network, and it's part of getting connected globally around these issues. I mentioned the LinkedIn series, and I'm just about finished. The latest thought of the week, this is a screenshot. So number 18, the Goldilocks principle we came up with in research. And basically, the essence of it, or the theme is not too much, not too little. So it's trying to get some optimum when you're doing research that, there's no, one way of thinking of it is the number of words you write, but it's not just about writing, not too many words, not too few words. The Inspires Global Pitching Research Competition, there's a link to the competitions page there. We had our inaugural event in 2022. We had 6 grand finalists, a winner from Vietnam that year. In 2023, we had a grand final in December of 2023. And in fact, we had 9 grand finalists that year. In the first competition, we had a grand finalist from Sri Lanka. And in 2024, just concluded, we had 7 grand finalists, and we had one of the grand finalists from Sri Lanka. If you want to find out more about the 2025 event, there's a LinkedIn post and a link to that LinkedIn post, and that will tell you all you need to know. So finally, just to round out with the Inspires Centre for Responsible Science, we have 74 node leaders at the moment covering all the populous continents. Most of the members are, not surprisingly, in Australia. Quite a significant number in Asia and also Europe. We're expanding in Africa, and North and South America are still challenging to us, but we do have a footprint there. So I think I'm pretty much on time for 15 minutes. I hope I've achieved my goal of whetting your appetite. There's plenty for you to follow up on, the links in these slides. For those of you that are students, and indeed whoever is interested this afternoon, please come along to the PhD workshop, because in part I will dig deeper into a number of things I've mentioned in this address. I wish you well with the conference. Again, I'm honoured and proud to present this keynote speech, and I've enjoyed my visit so far to Sri Lanka. All the best for your research, and I hope to meet many of you in the time that I'm around. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Robert Pfaff, for your keynote address and indeed the wonderful gifts of research tools and techniques you shared with us. Thank you very much, sir. Next, I would take pleasure and privilege in inviting our guest of honor of this morning, Professor Dushan Jayavikrama, the Dean of the Faculty of Management Studies and Commerce, to address this gathering.
Good morning, distinguished invitees at the head table, PIM faculty, administrative officers, presenters of PIMARC 2025. On behalf of the Faculty of Management Studies and Commerce, University of Sri Jawadarnapura, and the ICBM co-chairs, Dr. Nilangi Nanayakara and Dr. Gayani Samarakon, let me express our congratulations to PIMARC 2025. While we deeply appreciate PIM's interest in collaborating with the major research journeys of the both institutes, we as the faculty would look forward to continue to our work together in our research endeavors. While I was listening to the keynote speaker this morning and the Vice Chancellor's speech, and also the first two speeches given by Dr. Asanga Ranasinghe and Senior Professor Ajanta Dharmasiri, I was actually thinking as to what we can do next. What is our next step and what should that be? One common theme that we all have come to realize is that there has to be an impact of research that we do. Our policies should be well-informed ones by the research. And the learning partners of PIM or learning partners of the parent campus should be able to see the importance of informed decision making, particularly the area of, unlike I think the pure sciences field, particularly in the area of business management, not only locally, even globally, there is a bit of criticism, skepticism that our decision makers go mostly by gut feel and the experience. Conceptualization of what they get to see, experience in day-to-day work environment, and solving problems by looking at them, analyzing them from alternative perspectives, theoretical angle is something lacking. And also taking decisions based on proper analysis is something that is missing. If that is the case, the question we have is, don't we have enough research? Or don't we have enough of platforms to make our research available for decision makers to see in a more comfortable or convenient manner. What I feel is that the problem is more towards the second issue, not the research, the number of research that we do, or not the number of research that we do with rigor of literature and methodological approaches, but the lack of knowledge available out there in a more user-friendly language. I can say that particularly with regards to the business-related, management-related disciplines, particularly into the Sri Lankan context. So therefore, my suggestion this morning to the distinguished invitees at the head table and to the researchers who are here to make collective effort to create platforms for us to make this available, knowledge available. Now, Professor Peff would agree with me that I think maybe 10, 15 years ago, there was this blog-based online platform, conversation.org, if I'm not mistaken, was developed in maybe in an Australian university, but widely practiced, widely available for general public to use, the research-based knowledge. Similarly, we have platforms like Pitching Research and also TED Talks. These are wonderful resources and platforms that we can contribute to make our research-based knowledge for other people to use. And if we expect them to do research as they are published in research journal articles, it might be a little challenging. So therefore, maybe as a collective understanding of this effort, we can take this forward, maybe as a collaborative effort of PIM and Jayawardenepura Management Faculty to have some online digitalized platforms to make our selected research so that our learning partners, our alumni, can make good use of and stay connected with our institute. What is very important is to getting our learning partners and also alumni stay connected with us in a dialogue of knowledge sharing. Not only in the dialogue of not in the form of annual dinner dances, they're also important, but our role has to be taking people and continue with us as knowledge sharing partners. And we can continue to do that value addition with the knowledge that we produce in our institutions. So we would like to take this discussion forward. If PIM would like to come forward and have this discussion. And also, I would like to, before I conclude, thank PIM once again for inviting our faculty to chair the sessions this morning and to review the researchers or the presenters' work, and also inviting our academic staff members to serve as examiners and the supervisors of research efforts of PIM learning partners undertake. I'm very happy to see even our senior faculty, like Professor Samanyapa, who happens to be one of the first generation PIM alumnus, taking part in enhancing our collaborative research journeys of both institutes. So take the wonderful opportunity, researchers, that has been created collectively by both parents in university and the PIM. This time you are a learning partner of an island-wide featured research event. So take the pride of that and have that not as a label, but as an experience and also an opportunity to realize your inner potential as a researcher, as an independent person who can conduct an inquiry, who will see, most importantly, the world around you differently as a result of this research journey you have undertaken. Good luck with your research careers. And we would like to continue to work with you in enhancing our research cultures. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Dushan Jayavikrama, Dean of the Faculty of Management Studies and Commerce from the University of Sri Jayawardenepura, for that open invitation for the learning partners and PIM in general to work with you closely towards furthering the boundaries of research. Thank you very much, sir, for your address this morning. To present the tokens of appreciation to the keynote speaker of today, I take pleasure in inviting Director of PIM, Dr. Asanga Ranasinghe, together with the conference co-chairs, Senior Professor Ajanta Dharmasiri and Dr. Trevor Mendes, to please join me in front of the stage to hand over the tokens of appreciation for the keynote speaker, Professor Robert Pfaff. The attitude of gratitude always takes precedence here at PIM, and hence to deliver the vote of thanks of this morning before we conclude this official inauguration ceremony of the PIM Annual Research Conference for the year 2025 under the theme Thriving in Turbulent Times. Please join me in welcoming the conference co-chair for PIMARC 2025, Dr. Trevor Mendes.
Research provides the basis or the foundation for policy making, strategy formulation, as well as for the intellectual contribution. Good morning, Vice Chancellor of the University of Sri Jayawardenepura, Senior Professor Padmalal Manage, Dean of the Faculty of Management Studies and Commerce, Professor Dushan Jayavikrama from the University of Sri Jayawardenepura. Our keynote speaker, Professor Robert Pfaff, all the way from Australia, from the University of Queensland. Our director, PIM, Dr. Asanga Ranasinghe. Co-chair of PIMARC 2025, Senior Professor Ajanta Dharmasiri. My colleagues in the faculty, administrative staff, presenters, all staff members at PIM, special invitees, ladies and gentlemen. At an era where attention paid for research is diminishing, at an era, as Professor Dushan correctly said, most of the crucial and decisive decisions are taken based on purely the gut feeling. Conducting a research conference is a tedious task. It's a tedious task. So it is my fervent duty to thank those who helped us to make this event a success. First of all, I would like to thank Senior Professor Padmalal Manage for coming here by accepting our sincere invitation, sir, to grace this occasion. Thank you so much. And our director, PIM, Dr. Asanga Ranasinghe. Actually, this committee was formed way back in October last year, and he has been guiding us. So thank you very much, Dr. Asanga. And our dean, Professor Dushan Jayavikrama, who is also a member of the Board of Management, Board of Study, and helping us a lot. Thank you very much, sir, for coming here and gracing this occasion. And Professor Robert Pfaff for this keynote speak. Not only that, Professor, I really appreciate and admire your presence. You would be conducting another workshop in the evening to guide our PhD and DBA students how to complete a PhD journey successfully. So a little bit of value addition from you. Thank you so much. As well as my co-chair, Senior Professor Ajanta Dharmasiri, who has enormous amount of experience in handling this type of conferences for the last so many years. Thank you very much, Professor. And my colleagues in the faculty who have been giving their maximum support, administrative staff at PIM, non-academic staff at PIM, they have been working basically 24/7, and all the presenters, panelists, and all other research related or research oriented personalities who have helped us a lot to make this event a success. I always say that Clive Lloyd never won 2 World Cups alone. He won 2 World Cups with 10 others. Same with Arjuna. So teamwork matters a lot. So all have helped us a lot, and also comparing Tarindu and helping us with all these curtain raisers and all the things, technical staff, everybody, thank you so much. And I wish you all the best and a very productive day. Also, I forgot to tell one thing. We have added another value addition this year for this PIMARC, which is the closing ceremony. It's a suggestion from the director, Dr. Sangha Ranasinghe. During the sessions today, we will select the best presenters from each stream, and they would be given an additional certificate as well as a monetary reward. This is done with the fervent intention of inculcating research habits and also to create competition among research. So needless to say that the outcome of research and the culture would be very productive. Thank you very much. All the best.
Thank you very much, Dr. Trevor Mendes, for your kind words and delivering the vote of thanks of this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready to conclude the inauguration of this morning, I would like to mention that right after this, we have the opening of the Genesis in the first floor, the entrepreneurship incubator, for which you are cordially welcome. And then do join us for refreshments, which will be served in the cafeteria in the ground floor. With that, we conclude this morning's inauguration ceremony of PIMARC 2025. And may this day be an enriching one, an enlightening one, where we together write a new golden chapter in the research legacy of PIM. Thank you very much, and we wish you a pleasant morning.